Okay, yeah, so we are here back again, and we have updated from the P3.16 XLR instances to P2.16 XLR. Let's just start it and let's get it working. We'll start it and it will take around literally 2 minutes, minimum of 2 minutes, because these are the big instances. When stopping, updating these instances takes around like 2 to 3 minutes of each. So starting will even take the 2 minutes of time, but it will not take in the for because it's for the like the second or third time. After that, it will not. So why am I exactly doing this thing? Let's have a little. Actually, the purpose of doing this thing. So this is one, and this is second. So first of all, I will introduce you to the BIONS. So BIONS, this one is not. BIONS is a AI analysis tool. Have been inspired from some of the best companies like Ad and there are tons of them. I would not give you the some one of the companies an example names. So exactly what am I building here? That at the BIONS, where the BIONS, what exactly BIONS is a jargon. As I say, BIONS is the name for a robot, or the synonyms of the robot, and you can even say the cyborg person. So BIONS is the synonyms of cyborg robot. So that's where I picked the name, and it's really just did not pick up. And I also searched for the BIONS.com, and I literally did not got that domain. We even contacted the owner, and literally, those kind of deals must have been made with a very large amount of penny of money, you know. So I decided to just go with this one, and it just did not cost me anything. BIONS.us, but BIONS.com was going to cost me around like the thousands of dollars, minimum thousands of dollars. So what am I building here? Let's have a look a little. AI analysis tools for radiology. So what happens here that with these AI analysis tool, especially for the image recognition and the machine learning on the data driven models, we can literally just make the work of the radiologist so easy. So what exactly the work of the radiologist? So there are the certain certain imaging techniques with the radiologists that they do face literally. So what happens that they have to like take some of the examples of the radiology technique like the computed tomography, CDS scan, as you say, the normal words, magnetic resonance imaging, MRI for especially for brain and chest region, and easy recordings for the brain regions, ultrasound especially for the thoracic part and the lower part of the body. I prepared. I just forgot the. Let's move on. X-rays here, fundus photography, specifically is being used for the retinopathy, and retinopathy is the diabetic retinopathy. That's the blindness detection. So these are actually the medical imaging that the radiology use to capture the images of the actually the functioning and working part of. We just not have to use. We're gonna have to use a little biological word, not the words that we actually use in engineering. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to use a little biological word. So there's a thoracic part of the body and abdomen part of the body. So for internal imaging, they use these kind of technologies, and we do also use these technology, especially for the X-rays we use, and easy recordings is also magnetic. These all are the appliances, not say the appliances, say the tools. So how does it what we actually do here? So there are already tons of competitions happens around the world for these kind of like first of all take the example of the RSNA. I can give you a little more information about that. You go on the Kaggle, you'll find everything there. Go on the Kaggle, you'll find everything there. I have also my pitch video. They haven't created here somewhere. You can watch that video. That's quite impressive. I have to update that pitch video. Really, that is so much embarrassing for me because I have to think the actually the recordings the video timeline was already been made that at this time this thing must have to be done. So what I'm gonna have to do that I just have to use the captioning to prepare the voice for that video. That really fucked me up. Actually, the thing happened there that uh, we have to sync those captioning with my voice, and I just cannot just sync it with that. So I feel bad that you literally get the point that what I'm saying here. So let's get over on our solutions. So BIONS is the AI analysis tools. Take the example that what the solutions we provide. Like the oncology is just the study of the cancer detection and treatments. And so how many times the cancer detection and cancer that we can actually treat or detect with the analysis tools. So there are the skin cancer, cervical cancer, PCA stands for the prostate cancer, lymphoma, that's the histopathologic cancer directions, and histopathologic is a lymph node. So this is the lymph tissues and those part of the, and actually personalized medicine for cancer treatment. So based on your genomic sequences, we even will work on the development of some personalized medicines for every personals. So this was the part of the oncology. So on every part, skin cancer, we'll be able to detect the skin cancer from what? Let's just have a look at the first description. Skin cancer is the most prevalent type of the cancer, melanoma, especially responsible for 75% of skin cancer deaths, despite being the least common skin cancer. Here we find the probability of floating. Here we find the probability floating point between 0.0 and 1.0 that the lesion in the image is malignant. The value 0 denotes begin and 1 indicates malignant. When you one thing I will say you that don't ever see these photos. These photos are so much embarrassing. I just watched a couple of photos and I thought that I'm going to. So just don't watch those photos. If you have been in some of the cases of, okay, forget about that. Let's move on. So that's what we do. That we just classify the images based on that. Does that photo have the lesson in the image or not? Lesson is a part of the. So, actually, I will not be able to explain that as of this time. So this is just the image classification problem. Skin cancer, this one. Cervical cancer screening, this is also a skin image classification problem. Prostate cancer, this one even the same. Lymphoma, these all are the skin cancer. But the type of the imaging techniques being used, this is different for all, not for all of them. Only these imaging techniques are being used. These CT and MRI, ultrasound and X-rays. What does photography for the eye part, retina part. So this was the for the cancer detection and treatment oncology. So this was just the first case. Now let's move on to the second class. That's the diabetic retinopathy and blindness detection. So what happens here that mostly the diabetes patients are around like the age of working age populations, not the working age populations, around 40, 50. They almost go with this disease, diabetic retinopathy. So this is around 93 billion people almost worldwide gets affected with this. Oh, I forgot. What the? Oh, it's failed. It's failed. Well, when content internally when trying to use the notebook instance type and repeat the system of your notebook, so good better again, we place select a different instance before trying to start again. So it's got fucked up again. Okay, so what are you gonna do? It will not start with this instance. PD.16 slides will not work. I don't know why. I gotta have to connect the technical support and tell them exactly what exactly I'm facing here. Let's try this thing again, starting it again. Okay, so where we have been, so here we are at the diabetic retinopathy part. So what happens is that we take the fundus photography of the retina part of the eye, and those fundus photography. So this is also one image of our retina, and we have to classify these images on 5 scale. That's no DR, no diabetic retinopathy, mild diabetic retinopathy, moderate diabetic retinopathy, severe diabetic retinopathy, or proliferative diabetic retinopathy. That is the severe stage of the diabetic retinopathy. So this was the diabetic retinopathy. So this is also image classification. That's what we are working on for this time. So this is the diabetic retinopathy. You see that this is the second version. The first version was a little different, and this was the second version. This is the cloud part. The part that we have worked locally is actually the getting the. Don't even think about that. Okay, so let's move on to this. These we have done with the eye part. Let's go over the brain imaging. So, what the solutions we are building for the brain imaging part? So, first of all, there almost immense. What happens there? The hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is the blood. They just give you information. Intracranial hemorrhage, bleeding. That's the bleeding that goes inside the cranium. That's the skull. It's a serious health problem requiring rapid and often intensive medical treatment. For example, intracranial hemorrhages account for approximately 10% of strokes in the US, where strokes is the fifth leading cause of the death. Identifying the location and type of any hemorrhage present in the critical step is treating the. So here, what we do here, we analyze of whether hemorrhage exists in a given CT scan and what type it is. So this is also a complex problem. We have also working on this one, and you can even see our the first versioning of this brain imaging instance that we have just stopped for a while. We and ECR deployment we have locally working on that. Now let's move on to the second problem. Technique seizures in intracranial easy recordings. Easy recordings. That's the. So here we predict that the clip is within the first 15 seconds, and first 15 seconds. So easy recordings. Easy recordings are like the graphical recordings. As you see, as you can normally see the recording. You have already seen this kind of recording. I don't have to explain that part. Its respective seizure, the technical team for the team for a time and the seizure or latency. These early clips are double counted because early detection is critical to successful intervention with a responsive neuro stimulation device. It's not going to start, but we're gonna have to work with the instance that we have been previously working. That's a 3.16x large instance, and then it completed just literally my all of my progress of 30 minutes or so, no more than 30 minutes. Now, the third problem is here diagnose mental illness, schizophrenia. So schizophrenia is a mental illness, disabling mental illness, which has a well-established, well invasive diagnosis behavior. Here we also work on the MRI scans, but this is a different type of functional magnetic resonance imaging, and this is a functional NCFNC, which stands for the. Yeah, it has not been given. That's the FNC information we grab from these fMRI images, and we have to just classify between a patient who is healthy and the one schizophrenic. So brain neuroimaging. Brain neuroimaging. So here we predict the age and assessment values from the two domains using features derived from the brain MRI images as inputs and improve pain management. So in this one, what we do that all of our nervous structures, there are multiple nervous structures, especially talking about will not get you the names because that will be accurately identifying nervous structures in ultrasound images. So there are the different nervous structures for different actions or stimulations. So what are we gonna have to do, are we doing here in this problem, that we are identifying the nervous structures that is responsible for the pain, okay, that is responsible for ultrasound images, and we have got the ultrasound images of those nervous structures, and especially from the neck part, and effectively inserting a patient's pain management catheter contributes to a more pain-free surgical procedure. So here we predict that the mask of a nerve called brachial plexus in ultrasound images of the neck. Here we just mask the areas where the brachial plexus is present in that ultrasound image. Let's go over the thoracic image is a major part of the research. Yeah, the COVID-19 will also come in this case, but we have created a class of the COVID-19 which will include, or the virology that is coming in the virology. We have virology, yeah, the COVID-19 will be in that. So for the thoracic imaging, we have the first the pneumonia detection in the lungs opacities, pulmonary embolism detection in chest CT scans, identifying pneumothorax disease in the chest X-rays, detecting severity of pulmonary fibrosis or decline in lung function, detecting emergence and position of catheters and lines on chest X-rays to save the life. Last one example you might have seen, but this previous examples, if you are in the age of around 20 and literally not around from the hospitals and not been any student in some medical colleges, so you really will not know about them. So for last one you can have seen if you have gone for some of the seeing some ICU patients. I have seen these for many times. So, what happens here that the last one, I will give you some little example. It is the presence of position of catheters and lines on chest X-rays. So, what happened here that we are not able to upgrade this notebook instance type to P2.16x large. It's still tablet retinopathy. It's been updated to 50 to say, but it's not will be initiated because there are so many. Why not we'll just initiate in a start one more instance for the P2.6. It's going to take me so much resources. We'll try some another way because we have to prepare the data in that instance first. That's the first problem. We cannot just jump in and download those data pretty quickly. Downloading those data is going to... Sorry. Downloading those data is going to take time because I'm literally downloading not a zip file. Those files are individual files. So these detecting the presence of position of catheters and lines in chest X-rays to save the life. You have got the X-rays. Now you have to detect the lines of actually every bones in that thoracic part or the chest part. And one more thing, you have to detect the catheters where you actually have and lines on chest X-rays. You have to detect them, and there was a catheter, a pipe type of system is being inserted in the thoracic part to make the patient breathe these kind of situations. So this is thoracic imaging. Let's go with the cytology, cellular biology. Let's just go over some of the topics here. So this is the mechanism of action predictions for the cells. This is actually a this have been grabbed. This image have been grabbed from the mechanism of action prediction. So you have got this image. This is see that is here the cellular image on the level of microscopy that they have. So we classify the drugs based on their biological activity. We even predict HIV progression. HIV patients infection will become less severe, predicting that. Let's go on the plant D. Plant D is also here. So we what we do we classify the leaves, and as we are able to classify the leaves, leaf classification better the image classification problem. Leaf classification in their species, as we got the species we got everything. Okay, leaf disease classification, what kind of the disease that leaf is, flower classification, and plant seedlings classification. Seedlings are small plants are plant seedlings classification. So small plants, do they does have different type of features. So plant seedlings classification, identify plant species from herbarium specimens. So you've got the herbarium specimens. Herbarium specimens, as I'm sure that the herbarium specimens already contain almost all of the important data on their specimen. So why there is a plant species? Even they contain everything about all of the plant hierarchy or the plant kingdom to family to species to subspecies information on that herbarium specimens. Okay, whatever. Wheat heads classification, that a wheat heads is complete or not. So wheat heads classification using meta-analysis. Identify category of the foliar disease in apple trees. Category of foliar diseases in apple trees. Let's go over the animalia. This is also interesting, and I'm sure that you will mostly like the life sciences part. So this is identify wild animals, species from their images, wild animals, not the normal pet animals. Determining the breed of a dog in an image. So as you have given here the tons of images of the dog, you have to identify which breed of that dog is. Birds species classification, that is not based on the image entirely, because birds images are not the perfect way to classify them. So what we have the sounds, there's sound files, and something else. I think we have images files too. What the data said, identifying a whale by the image of its tail. I can give you some photos of it. So, what you can then a whale can be even or identified with its tail, and we'll surely going to classify. These are also the image classification problem, image of its tail. Uh, Classifying the species. Let's go on the virology, the most. COVID-19 detection and with lung X-ray, CT scan, and historical exams. So, as of the my work, I've also done a little work with this one. I've also um, tried for working for the personalized medicine or even for the drug discovery with the machine learning. We have done. There is a tons of videos also available for that. You don't watch them. And I even submitted on some of the sources too. That was really not a perfect work, and I just literally finalized to drop it. At that time, it was around like the March of the 2020. March of the 2020 was that. We have been working on that. That was the COVID-19 detection and lung X-ray, CT scan, and historical exams. So what have I done in that we have just got the Smiley's files. Smiley is a different type of the notations for the drugs, and we just use the machine learning for actually determining that which that is a long process. I cannot just explain them in normal moving words. Okay, so that was the COVID 19. Now we have also worked a little on the COVID 19 detection with the lung X ray, and lung X ray is already available. Just the pneumonia detection, that's the COVID 19 detection. Okay, but here is just a little of the different lung opacities remains available in the lung X-ray, so that you have to consider lung X-ray. You can consider CT scan. You can consider historical exams are also the perfect option. Historical exams, what exactly you are feeling in your normal day-to-day life? Are you moving? Have you traveling? So these are also the COVID-19 detection. But the one thing that I'm going to add in here that it can be also even detected with the way that you breathe, with the way that you breathe. This is not actually a remarkable thing, but we can classify from the way that you breathe, the rate that you breathe, and there's various classifications that will come up in the breathing pattern. But this technology, that's COVID-19 detection technology, is not going to work that better. That actually we're using a test for the COVID-19, because when you are having the COVID-19 and you actually started feeling that you literally have something, literally have some kind of weakness and something like that, then you will go for such kind of detections. What they will do, they will take your the x-rays and CT scans. These are certain perfect requirement for this detection, and they will find you exactly. So what's in this process here, that you already know that you have the COVID-19, so better be to go for the treatment directly as than going for the either if you are, and I'm sure. Okay, let's go over the next solution that we have, the life sciences, and be ready for some of that. So now, pet doggy adoption prediction. One there's a website that the petfinder.com. Petfinder.com, what happens that the petfinder.com lists all of the pet that they find very very adoptable. So what happens that the dog, the pet that remains kind of so pretty and beautiful, and that what will not is actually the better one, pretty, as you can see. So the prettier the dog, prettier the pet is, the faster that pet is going to be adopted. So these are kind of the various data they have available, and pet doggy adoption predictions. That will be one of our solutions, one of our solution. So this is how many solutions we have on comprising this all of the classes oncology, diabetic retinopathy, brain imaging, thoracic imaging, cytology, planty, animalia, virology, and actual life sciences. Life sciences, I have also add one more problem, one more that children assessment based on their mental activity, actually from the phone, actually on the game. Then, what exactly the cognitive capability of that is. Boys, okay, so we have got around 31 solutions as of this time, and we have started developing it. 31 solutions from these all classes, 31 solutions, and I have also written somewhere, I think. No, I don't have written. So, what will you will have the final product that you'll be able to just sign up for this product, and you will be able to uh, I'm sorry for that. You will be able to just have a first of all trial of that for a month, and then let's go for the production phase. And this product will be only for the radiologist. Radiologist, yeah, only for the radiology. So that's it, and I'm just now going for changing the again the CPU instances, and we'll be training, and we'll update you on some better results from the training. Ah, yeah, I forgot one thing. Let's go over the cosmic. This is also the interesting thing. So, what is this? Actually, I've tried multiple incubation center, but still this time, uh, so far, none of them has worked out. And recently, I've tried the NITT CEDI NITT. That's CEDI, that's incubation centership, and the NITT, that's NIT Tiruvandhuram, somewhat name of the place or somewhat name of the NIT college is. I did the presentation. Presentation was good, but the, when you will go with this phase, you will know everything. I would not say what exactly I'm lacking. I would say that what exactly I'm lacking, but I would not say that for going through this all, I just don't have words to explain them. Okay, forget about. Let's go over the solution. So this is a cloud gaming. Recently, I just seen some of the very ambiguous comments and reviews of the Cyberpunk 2077. That was a hell of a lot of the money. The like the 313 million they spent it for like the 7 years or 8 years to build that masterpiece. Masterpiece is in the form of the 8K textures, 8K textures, but they, I think, really how Action AAA game with the 8K textures having a funding of 313 million worked the people of like the 1000 team of the people for 8 years have such kind of I just don't even take this thing like 1000 people worked for 8 years and having the immense amount of funding like the 313 million, or some of the funding has also come from the some of the government sources like the 1 and 2 million of 1 million $1 million. So that was 330 million, and 1000 people worked for the 8 year, and they have such kind of problem, such kind of big AI problem, such kind of big textures rendering problem, such kind of big textures loading problem. And actually the AI part was the terrible, and there was even big massive problems with actually the map even. People were talking that we have been just teleported to different place, and they just didn't realize that they are out of the map. They are falling this space, and even the calling for the is in the terms of the game, calling for the car, calling for the bike. I just seen one example there that a person called for the his bike and his bike I think his bike just started driving by himself. Left him. No, that person was just running behind his bike and saying, no, 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 no. Don't leave me. Okay, so that's kind of the solution then. So that's a but for the cinematics and the quality, the epic view of the city, that really impressive, impressive. But actually, just for the little part, I think they released a little sooner for I think, but they have a better funding sources. Why exactly have they done? 3.3 ratings all everywhere, and they have also refunding from the PlayStation. I think PlayStation is also refunding. Sony Live is also refunding the money. So now let's go over on our startup. That's the cast me. So cast me, yeah, the name says it. Cast me, where I'm going to be casted. The digital life. That's it. The same that you are playing the game. What kind of the digital life you have seen with the Cyberpunk 2077. The same, the changes that I will make there. That the character that you have been using, the character that you have been using to drive your car, drive your bike, and all sort of the things, that character will be replaced by your character. You will create your character, and your character will be replaced here. So another person, like your friend is playing and he is using our services, then what you will see that your friend in that game, okay, actually that game will not be like the Cyberpunk 2077. Really, that's a very big project. 1,000 people, 7 years, 8 years, and having this I will say that the 300 million of funding. So that's what I will do. That's what I will make the changes. Let's go over. So these are just a little of. Let's go learn more, and we'll find out exactly how you're gonna create your digital identity and how you'll put that digital identity there. Okay, so here we go, and let me just increase the quality a little. So what happens here that I think we just have to run up here on this part for the comparison so that you just don't get bored up. This is the kind of the character you can create with these kind of your photos. So now what I will do, I will replace the character upon that you will control in that game with your character. If you are replacing your character with your digital identity and another person, your friend, is replacing his character with his digital identity, then what you will see in the game as you normally communicate in the real life. That's kind of the chances I am literally going to work for, but it's not easy. Actually, the part that I have built so far was already built by anyone, but I built it. But for the further part, now as you see, I've built it that you can create your character or coming on our website, create a digital identity. Now the next part here is for putting that digital identity, we have used the cloud gaming. Cloud gaming is only option for such kind of such kind of designing, such kind of character. Putting that character, putting your character, only the cloud gaming is option. Actually, local file we cannot provide you without those kind of local files. Local files will every user cannot have local files. That's technical solutions. That's a technical problem. That's we're gonna have only have to go with the cloud. Now we have to create games specifically here. For creating the games, you already see here the what the funding is required here. So let's forget about now. So this is all. That's what I'm saying here. You can actually literally see the effect that it will have. So and this is all here. You can just watch this video and how do you have to actually create your character. There is a step have been given. Let's go through it and that's it. But this is a $1 per hour. We are literally running those instances. You see those instances for the $24 that I mean you need to just run again to train these models. The same thing you are also running, but for a little G4dn.x large instances are here. G4dn.x large instances are here. That's a $0.7 an hour. That will cost you like the for this all setup $1 an hour. Just keep it simple for you. Keep it simple means $0.9 an hour. You'll pay. I will create a digital identity. And now your digital identity, that digital identity will I will put you in the maps that I will be providing. Gaming maps. There are multiple gaming maps that we have created. You can have the example of them, and you can play those maps. Even like the going into the colleges, going to the education centers, the normal institutes, training scenarios of going for the cargo, plane landing, everything. You will put your character there, and you will see your friend character besides you. So this kind of the organisms I'm looking to build here. Now I've been working on it for like the 6 months, minimum 6 months on this idea. Working on another ideas for the forever. I've been working on some AI ideas on some education sector, just using the AI bots to let everyone to study. So this is it. Now we are. So this is two-way startup that I'm working on, BIONS AI and castme, and both of the name are perfect. But actually, the domain we have not been able to get the perfect domain. Later, we will think of purchasing a perfect domain when we will have a little funding support. Okay, so this is it. Now what we'll do, I will go here again. We will again update the instances to p3.16x large instance. I will start training again. But either I can go with this one and pay a hefty amount of the money for running a higher CUDA compute capability GPU, 7 GPU CUDA compute capability GPUs here. This one P3.16x large instances, and it is having around 3 CUDA compute capability. I can try one more option. I think I would have to try for going with this because I mostly need the GPU resources, and even the prices are very much lower. $10 is decreasing the price. I think I would have to try that option. Just downloading the files again and initiating it with this instance, p2.16 XLR, and with all of the steps. And that's it. I will update you on the training completions and all of the records. Well, we'll meet again. Thank you.